Hey everyone, welcome back to Norton Man Reviews, and oh god, Rusty's already here. Oh, there's a Bluey cup. Say hi, Rusty. I'm sure you're going to be making my life a pain in the ass as soon as I want to do these videos. You could be cuddling and doing all sorts of stuff with me at any time, but no, you wait until I get the camera ready and I sit right here. Anyways, where are we? Norton Man Reviews. What are we doing? Generation Next. What is this? Age of Apocalypse. Phase 3. Issue number 3 of Generation Next. This came out in May of, what? 1995. And there's a Sega Game Gear game that I never played. Cool. Where are we at in this storyline, this particular storyline? Colossus and Kitty are training the next generation of mutants, and they were tasked by Magneto to go rescue Illyana from this, it's in Seattle, it's this big, like, power plant, but they're forcing humans into slavery there, and that's where, like, Apocalypse, like, provides power to everything. Stupid camera. But it's a really, like, horrible place, and that's one good thing that this book does, is just show how horrible this world is. Right, Rusty? I don't know if Rusty the cat could even survive there. Right? And this, I'm going to continue and say it, because it is the grossest comic book that I've read in a long time, especially, you know, particularly in Age of Apocalypse here, is just like, there's so many things about it. Like, the characters have, like, weird, gross powers, and the artist, Chris Bachalo, I don't know how you pronounce his name, I'm sorry. He just has a style that's really good. I really like it. I'll point out some stuff that he does that I like. But he just makes things, I don't know, he has a way of drawing things that just kind of make you just feel uneasy sometimes. He's not like the typical Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, you know, hot babes, buff guys, you know, that kind of stuff. He doesn't really draw like that. He draws in a, I don't know, it's a style all unto his own, so give him that. But I really enjoy him as an artist. And I enjoy you as a kitty, Rusty, but you gotta go, okay? You gotta go, so I'm gonna push you slightly. This cover is kind of boring. This shows something that happens in the comic, so that's cool, I guess. Not much here to, like, really grab your attention off the stands. If you weren't already collecting this, would you pick this up? I don't know. Probably not. Alright, so here we go. Okay, Rusty. Come on, get up. Oh, Jesus. Fuck, dude. That's not my fault. You fell. Sorry about that. Don't worry. He's okay. He's a cat. Alright. So, here we got Skin and Chamber. Skin, you know, he stretches his skin. So there we go, being gross. And Chamber, he has like a huge gaping hole in his chest, which is actually an upgrade from the main universe where he has a gaping hole in his chest and bottom part of his mouth. So he just has like this energy coming out. So he's better in Age of Apocalypse, believe it or not. So these two have like kind of snuck in. There's all like different members of the team are doing different things. And these two were able to sneak in, stole some uniforms with some workers, and they're just making their way in little by little. And but they're just realizing that this isn't a great mission, and you keep seeing the theme of like this being a suicide mission. Like, they're not really confident that everyone is going to get back. And it seems that Colossus in particular is in such desperation to get Illyana, his sister, back, because he thought she was dead for so long, that he's willing to like sacrifice any of these guys, it seems like, almost. So here we go, and like this is the kind of cool stuff that he can really do. All this crazy pipes and detail and the backgrounds. You know, we've talked about different artists who can do backgrounds. Rob Liefeld can't draw a background to save his goddamn life. You know, could you imagine him doing anything like this? But I bet he gets paid way more because he's dynamic, I guess. Good for him. I've talked about Joe Madureira in The Astonishing X-Men. We'll look at that in a couple videos coming up. how he doesn't do a lot of backgrounds either, but he can and he does. He just knows when and how to do them. But yeah, look at all this shit. Look at all this details. Like, you know, these are all just like normal people he can draw on this big fucking crazy two-headed monster thing. This guard dog with all these piercings and teeth, spittle or whatever, just looks gross. And as always, Rusty's in my way. Oh my god, look at this cat. Look at this cat. What is he thinking he wants, huh? You act like you never get any love. You act like this all the time. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Alright. We'll just let him be. But, like, look at all this, like, the perspective is good, you know, with like the people up front, this bridge going back and all the detail up in here, this guy standing up here, these guards here, this shit in the background, people down here. This is just really, really good stuff. And I think he's a little bit underestimated. Then there's like these digital clouds that the colorist put in. I'm assuming they're digital. Who knows how they put them in. So you got this guy who's, I think, here. And he's like just this guard, and he's watching these like two humans fraternizing, some untoward exchange, he says. And, you know, it looks like a father and a daughter talking, trying to keep quiet. And he's like, don't, you know, she's, I guess he's trying to give her something and she doesn't want it. He's like forcing it. It's like some food, she says. But this guy sees it and he has this weird, crazy fucking third eye going on. Like, I love all this like inking and stuff. Let's see who the inker is. Buckingham. Yeah, I don't know. All this ink and like these dark shadows on this guy. Really good stuff, and how he's like able to draw these hands, and like sometimes it just seems like he does these little swirly lines here. That's crazy. Anyways, this guy sees him, he yells out violation, and this fucking third eye opens up. One thing I will say about him, like he draws this girl here, and he's drawn. This is like the third little girl he's drawn. Ileana's one. I forget who this other one is. Ileana has blonde hair, the other one has dark hair, this one has red hair. They all look exactly the same. You know, like, they all have the same hairdo with these bangs right here and then long hair that goes about to their shoulder. So, I'll point it out as we get to it. But it's just like, is there just a type? Is like that a uniform? Look at this damn cat. Look at this. Look at him. Ow, ow, ow. What are you doing to me? Ow, digging your claws in. Goddamn cat. Anyways. So he like shoots, I guess. Every day they torture weak, defenseless humans, terrorize them, dehumanize them, and not so occasionally destroy them. So his eye shoots, I guess, and big explosion. And basically killed the old man, her dad. And he's like, oh, was it worth it? Look how happy he is with that shit-eating grin. And, he, you know, the dad was just offering food from the last meal that they had 3 days ago. So, you know, like, Chamber and Skin, they see this happening. And she gets mad. She throws a rock, hits him right in the face, calls him a gene freak. And he retaliates like he does. He's up here, she's here. Just blows her away, and she goes flying off the cliff. And I think this is, it says Chica's got spunk. We must be talking about Skin because he's Hispanic, so he says Chica. And he says, I wonder, am I going to be this brave when I die? You know, because all this, you know, the bravery she has. Chamber, he's fucking pissed. And he has this look in his eyes. He starts yelling, and Skin has to kind of like hush him up, and he, you know, like restrain him from giving away their position. Some guy sees them and is like, "Hey, anything going on?" Like, "Hey, nope, don't worry." And Skin tells him, "Look how gross this is." He just like with his skin and his fingers wrapped around him. he tells Chamber, it's like, yeah, we're not going to let him get away with murder. We'll take a stand, but it's one that we're going to be able to win. So this guy is up here and he's all happy with what he did. It's like, told her, yes, I did. And then the supports that this guy is on start like coming away. And this guy's like, can anybody help? And he's like, he thinks to himself, it's like the balcony's alive, like it's trying to throw me. And he grabs on and he's like thinking, like, I can pull myself up. And then it's Mondo. And Mondo can like form into the ground and I guess walls. I don't really understand what his power is. It's really strange. It's another gross power from a team of gross mutants. And he just his face pops out. He's like, you can't. You know, he thinks he can pull himself up. You can't. Can't? Nope. And he just flings him off. And he says, next lifetime, don't kill innocents. It's bad karma. So Mondo got the revenge that these guys were looking for. Good job, Mondo. And Rusty, you just... So elsewhere, someone's talking. What's all the commotion? Who's this saying? There's this secretary, this crazy little old woman, I guess. And here's the, I guess you call him the foreman. I don't know what he is. I forget, his name is Quietus or something like that. Another weird fucking character with this huge fucking nose, right? He was murdered in the last one. He's not a good person. He was murdered by Rusty. Rusty. By Husk and this guy, this Vincente. And Husk can, like I've explained in other videos, she can tear off her skin and have another layer underneath it of various elements, I guess. Sometimes it's like an energy, she's done like a weird acid, but she was able to morph into him, basically. But she can only like she only has so much body mass, she can only like replicate the top half of this guy. So Vincente, who's like this weird form of gas, and he can like make himself in weird liquid states and stuff like that, I guess. So weird, so gross. Move out of the way, Rusty, come on. He makes up the bottom half. So they're massive. It's like a two-headed horse situation going on here. And they're looking through this guy's files and office, trying to find out where Illyana is. And they're just kind of talking about the situation that's going on here. This is a strange part. So she's getting out of these clothes for some reason. I'm not even sure why. Takes the pants off. These are legs, I guess. Just strange pair of legs, right? Took like 2 seconds to draw. But then the main bad guy is going to show up, and there he is. He's the Sugar Man. He's the boss of the entire thing. I don't know what he is. This is another fucking gross character. This weird potato man looking thing, but he's kind of huge, and he has this huge head. He has like 4 different arms. We kind of saw him in the last one. He likes to eat people, I guess, as snacks. It's very, very weird. So he came to check on like Quietus. So he barges in. And so these two masquerading as him, like they jump in the bath, I guess. And so he's like, no, I need you to come on, we got work to do. He's like, okay. And that's them, you know. They're not, for whatever reason, they're not in their full form. I don't know why or what's going on here. He has a gun there ready to shoot him. And they said something like, oh, do you think someone's actually trying to break in here? And he laughs, like, that's so, like, you know, that would never happen. It's like, I'll see you on the floor. And so, like, ooh, close call, right? And this is Husk. She's Paige Guthrie. And she has a thing for Chamber. And that's where she says, you know, he's the only man I ever loved. They put the AH for I instead of, you know, whatever. But she's like, right now I'm scared. Chamber's not here. So she needs like some physical comfort. So she starts making out with him in this form with this guy with this huge fucking nose. just weird and gross. Such a weird and gross comic. This shit's cool. Some kind of tunnel entrance, and there's these two humans hanging out garden, just talking. Shadowcat and Colossus come in. She used her intangibility to kind of float them on the air. And they're like, okay, we're in position. Now we're just wait for the signal. So just to remind everybody that what they're doing. So here's Illyana, right? And there's her hair. Okay, move out of the way, Rusty. And then there's this other girl. I forget her name, but look, same haircut, right? Is that the only haircut he thinks little girls have? Out of the way. So this is just showing more of like the slavery going on here for the humans having to do. Oh my God, Rusty. And this girl's like, she's taking a rock and she's throwing it off the edge just to get rid of it. This guy comes trudging up behind her, pushes her out of the way. He doesn't give a fuck about her. She's falling, and Mondo comes out of nowhere and catches her. Oh, I meant to show you. Yeah, this is what Mondo did to this guy earlier. Right here, right? On the cover. So that guy, he goes walking on. Mondo saves her. And she's like, you saved me. Only mutants. I thought mutants only killed people. It's like, bad mutants, yes. Mondo's good. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then it looks like, I don't know if it's the same guy. It looks like it might be. He gets taken out by Chamber and Skin. Specifically Chamber. And I love this shot of them with their eyes and like the shadows right here. It's really creepy there. Really cool looking there. But, you know, Mondo took out a guy for them. These guys took out a guy for Mondo. Then they get a tap on the shoulder. And there's Paige and Vicente masquerading as these guys, as this guy. And they knew this. They figured out who this was. And they're talking like, oh, hey, what have you found? What have you found? But then something comes up behind them and they see like, uh-oh, sorry. And like I guess Husk knocks them out, just clobbers them over the head. And it made it look like, she just caught these two. So back with Kitty and Colossus, they have this weird, I don't even know what it is. It's weird like AI. And they call it Know-It-All. And she's basically telling them what's going on. Things do not look good. Mondo would appear to be like yards away from the rescue, Illyana, but they're still 1.6 miles underground. Rainbow, let's see, Skin and Chamber and Husk and Vicente are cornered, and she says the kids could really use a hand. So Kitty's like, that's a big risk of this AI contacting them. Maybe we should. She's like, no, the students understood the risk. When they took the assignment, their only priority is rescuing his sister. Nothing else is important. So she has this kind of worried look. Colossus is just like dead focused. So yeah, here's a Sugarman, and he showed up with like this army. So she had to Husk had to pretend that she caught these guys so they wouldn't kill him. And he's like, okay, you have the honor, kill them yourselves. Has the gun. It's like, wait a minute. Hold up. Yeah. He's like, why don't you use your mutation? And she's like, well, I don't want to waste my power. Plus, like, they don't know what fucking Quietus's power is. So that's kind of like puts them in a pickle, in a bind. And there's Mondo, and like there's this, he draws so small, so sometimes it's hard to tell what's going on. Mondo drops off that little girl. He's like, you're safe. And then Mondo sees Illyana there. He's like, oh my God, there she is. There's what we're here for. So Mondo just like forms up like a fucking monster. And she's like screaming like, oh my God. and Mondo takes her, but this old woman's like, oh, maybe that's a good thing. So he takes her, like, sucks into the ground. So that's a scary thing for a kid, but I think this old woman's like, I think you're kind of, that'll be good for you. And so the AI kind of reports like, okay, Illyana's secured. That's the signal. Time to go in. So Kitty and Colossus finally are going to make their way inside. Fastball special, intangible style. So back with these guys here, Sugar Man, they're gonna like they're gonna about ready to kill Chamber, and they're like, okay, he's like, Quietus, execute the prisoner. So she gets the gun, points it, blam. To be continued. So things are not looking great for this team, and this issue does this series does a really good job of showing like the impossibility of this mission and just like the horribleness that is the Age of the Apocalypse. So you're kind of always on your toes when you're reading this book. So that's issue number 3 of Generation Next. Good stuff. Really enjoying it. We'll get into some other issues, and pretty soon we'll see like the end and resolution of this particular comic and of the Age of Apocalypse in general. So thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.